A Sand County Almanac by Aldo Leopold. Part 2. The Quality of Landscape. Chapter 1. Wisconsin. Section 2. The Sand Counties. Every profession keeps a small herd of epithets and needs a pasture where they may run at large. Thus, economists must find free range somewhere for their pet aspersions such as submarginality, regression, and institutional rigidity. Within the ample reaches of the Sand Counties, these economic terms of reproach find beneficial exercise, free pasturage, and immunity from the gadflies of critical rebuttal. Soil experts, likewise, would have a hard life without the Sand Counties. Where else would their potsols, glaze, and anaerobics find a living? Social planners have, of late years, come to use the Sand Counties for a different, albeit somewhat parallel purpose. The sandy region serves as a pale blank area of pleasing shape and size. On those polka dot maps, where each dot represents 10 bathtubs or 5 women's auxiliaries, or 1 mile of blacktop or a share in a blooded bull. Such maps would become monotonous if stapled uniformly. In short, the Sand Counties are poor. Yet, in the 1930s, when the alphabetical uplifts galloped like 40 horsemen across the big flats, extorting the sand farmers to resettle elsewhere, these benighted folk did not want to go, even when baited with 3% at the Federal Land Bank. I began to wonder why, and finally, to settle the question, I bought myself a sand farm. Sometimes in June, when I see unearned dividends of dew hang on every lupin, I have doubts about the real poverty of the sands. On solvent farmlands, lupins do not even grow, much less collect a daily rainbow of jewels. If they did, the weed control officer, who seldom sees a dewy dawn, would doubtless insist that they be cut. Do economists know about lupins? Perhaps the farmers who did not want to move out of the Sand Counties had some deep reason, rooted far back in history, for preferring to stay. I am reminded of this every April when the pasque flowers bloom on every gravelly ridge. Pasque do not say much, but I infer that their preference harks back to the glacier that put the gravel there. Only gravel ridges are poor enough to offer pasque full in elbow room in April sun. They endure snows, sleets, and bitter winds for the privilege of blooming alone. There are other plants who seem to ask of this world not riches but room. Such is the little sandwort that throws a white lace cap over the poorest hilltops just before the lupins splash them with blue. Sandworts simply refuse to live on a good farm, even on a very good farm, complete with rock garden and begonias. And then there is the little linaria, so small, so slender, and so blue that you don't even see it until it is directly underfoot. Who ever saw a linaria except on a sand blow? Finally, there is draba, beside whom even linaria is tall and ample. I have never met an economist who knows draba, but if I were one, I should do all my economic pondering lying prone on the sand with draba at nose length. There are birds that are found only in the Sand Counties, for reasons sometimes easy, sometimes difficult to guess. The clay-colored sparrow is there, for the clear reason that He is enamored of jack pines, and jack pines of sand. The sandhill crane is there, for the clear reason that he is enamored of solitude, and there is none left elsewhere. But why do woodcocks prefer to nest in the sandy regions? Their preference is rooted in no such mundane matter as food, for earthworms are far more abundant on better soils. After years of study, I now think I know the reason. The male woodcock, while doing his pianting prologue to the sky dance, is like a short lady in high heels. He does not show up to advantage in dense, tangled ground cover, but on the poorest sand streak of the poorest pasture or meadow of the sand counties, there is, in April at least, no ground cover at all, save only moss. Draba, cardamine, sheep sorrel, and antenaria, all negligible impediments to a bird with short legs. Here the male woodcock can puff and strut and mince, not only without let or hindrance, but in full view of his audience, real or hoped for. This little circumstance, important for only an hour a day, for only 1 month of the year, perhaps for only one of the two sexes, and certainly wholly irrelevant to economic standards of living, determines the woodcock's choice of a home. The economists have not yet tried to resettle woodcocks.